George McPhee joins us right now, and I had the privilege of interviewing you just moments after the final horn sounded. It was you and your daughter, your whole family, just beaming with pride. You were still taking it in. Has it sunk all the way in that you are a Stanley Cup champion?
It has. It's difficult at the time because there's so much going on the ice, and you're trying to make sense of all of it. But it has. It seems to get better every day, and it's been one of the better months of my life. I can say that.
Now, George, I don't know if this is the right way to say it because obviously your job is far from easy, but does it make it easier when you've got an owner that obviously has just given full confidence and given you full reign to go take swings, whether it's signing guys to big contracts or making big trades? It just seems like you guys are able to nail these huge players that were a really big part of your championship run.
Well, it takes a lot of guts to be a GM in this league. I've been a GM. We've got a good GM in Kelly. And it takes guts to be a front office person because you have to make big decisions. And if you're not prepared to make the big decisions, you shouldn't be on the job. But we've been prepared to do that from day one. Our owner has been excellent to work with. He understands the command chain, and we, he's never said no to anything that we wanted to do. He obviously had questions. We had discussions, but when the hockey department was ready to make a decision, he supported the hockey department. So, we wanted to win. We wanted to be a successful team based on making a lot of good hockey decisions. We didn't want to be an expansion franchise that was going to lose for a long time, or an NHL team that was going to not win for a while and try to build through draft picks. We wanted to be more aggressive than that, and we certainly have been. And I guess the reason we're talking today is we won the Stanley Cup, so most of the decisions that have been made have been good ones.
One of the most notable decisions, and we saw he won the Conn Smythe even though he was undrafted. Jonathan Marchessault, pound for pound, from my experience, the most confident human I've ever met. How did you know that he was one of the pieces you wanted from the very start?
Well, you don't always know, and because I'm the head of the hockey department, so the hockey department, I get a lot of credit. But we just had an incredible staff. When after Bill Foley hired me, we hired 35 people in 60 days, young and up and comers that want a first chance, veteran guys that want a second chance, veteran guys that are out of work. And we were extraordinarily well organized for the expansion draft. Our blueprint was good. Our execution was really good. And our scouting staff really liked Marchessault, and we made the move, and it's really paid off. He's been an outstanding player for this organization, really competitive guy. And, like most of our players, he's not only a good player, but he's a real good person.
That was just a couple of years ago that I think we were all surprised when it happened, when you guys missed the playoffs. I'm sure you were just as surprised, but what was the confidence level after missing the playoffs going into last season that you guys were going to bounce back? And I mean, obviously the goal is the cup, which you got, but just bounce back and get back to that incredible team that you guys have been since the get-go.
Well, that's a good question. It's interesting because we went to the conference finals back-to-back years, and when you don't win, it takes something out of you, but you keep banging on the door. We went back-to-back, didn't win. We made more changes. But we came back to training camp after those back-to-back years in a condensed schedule and everything else with COVID, and we were really lethargic in training camp. It didn't feel good. It didn't look good, and we had surgeries in the summer, and we had more guys get injured in training camp, and we fought injuries all year that year, and then we just sort of went into a death spiral in the second half where we just couldn't get a stretch where we were healthy, and it cost us the playoffs. So again, you make changes that you feel like you have to make. And we came back to camp this year, and the spirit in training camp, a new coach, um, just again, lots of opportunity for players if they can make our club, and and we were just better. We had a real good start, and you know, in January we got hit again. We were really worried about the injuries at that point. It's the same thing going to happen to us, but we got through it. During the All-Star break, we got a chance to reset and then start attacking again when we came out of it. And we had a real good run and won our division and won the conference. In the last 2 minutes of the 82nd game, we got an empty net goal to clinch that and went into the playoffs, and we're healthy all through the playoffs. So you don't always know what you're heading for. But when we went into the playoffs, Mark Stone was a question mark, obviously. But when we got going and we were healthy, it was a pretty good hockey club when you look back at it.
A really good hockey club, one we're going to be talking about for a long time. Dave Gaucher, your TV voice, called it a wagon, and I think that's the appropriate description. You mentioned that new coach, Bruce Cassidy, just after I spoke with you on the ice in the moments after the clincher was finished. I said to him, it's great to see a nice guy finish first, and his eyes lit up and a big smile. He went from a pressure-packed place in Boston to a market that you have cultivated. Las Vegas as a hockey city is rabid, not just passionate, rabid. How has that happened? How have you and this team been able to immerse yourself in the community so much that it is a hand-in-glove fit?
Well, initially when we got the franchise, you could feel that there was a real civic pride in Las Vegas, that they had a major league sports team, they had an NHL hockey team, and they really embraced it. I remember, you know, when I sent my resume to Bill Foley, and he called within a week, and we were talking, and he was actually selling me on the job. I thought it was supposed to be the other way around, but that was just Bill's style. But he was talking about how ticket sales are going, how sponsorship is going, and I couldn't believe the numbers. I said, that just can't be. And he said, this is what's happening here. So we got things worked out and ended up getting the job. And I remember probably 2 or 3 months into the job, Kelly and I were in the office and we were talking about various things. And we both sort of came up with the same thought at the same time. And that is, you know, Vegas has got, you know, all that you need really to win. It's an easy place to live in. It's easy to get around. We have great facilities. We have an ownership an owner who you know, has the resources and wants to win right now. And so I remember Kelly and I talking, and I don't know if he said it or I said it, but it's like, you know, we've got everything we need to win here. If we do our jobs, we can win. If we do our jobs, we can win a Stanley Cup here. And the support has been there from our fan base, and they just embraced this team. And it was a team that was Vegas born. It's not a relocation like some of the other professional sports are that are coming to Vegas or are in Vegas. We were Vegas born, and I think we have a special place in the hearts of a lot of people in Vegas.
Beautifully said, and a place in history. Thanks so much for joining us, and congratulations again on an amazing season.